Hey guys, welcome to the show. Subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. We need the support, and follow us on social media at Reza Riffs, REZA-RIFTS. Couple announcements. I have a show Friday, August 30th in Huntington Beach called Live at the Beach with Craig Shoemaker. Then I'm going to be at the Rec Room on September 5th with Bobby Collins. This interview was fun. I interviewed Brian Regan. Alan Lee couldn't make it. And this episode was sponsored by Matthew Peck, who's the biggest Brian Regan fan. And I forgot to tell him on air, so I apologize, Matthew. But I am putting it in the opening announcements for you. Also, this episode it was fun. And, we talked about stuff that doesn't really affect real opinions. It was all in a joking way, and so don't take this one too seriously.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.
I was amazing. Yeah.
Awesome.
A lot of the audience, maybe they would vote differently, but I thought I was amazing. Yeah.
So I was in Pasadena, and we're in Pachanga right now. When you do casinos,
Pachanga.
Pachanga. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I believe so. That's what
we were told.
I'm here with Brian Regan, and Brian, you're very nice enough to let me interview you before a show.
My pleasure.
Do you enjoy doing interviews before a show, or does it throw you?
I normally don't do them,
Yeah.
but if I feel like I'm in friendly territory,
Yeah.
I will do them.
Oh.
And you seem like you're a friendly territory guy.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I file you in my friendly territory folder. And I have another folder near that called, enemies.
Yeah.
And you're not in that one. You're not in that folder.
Oh, thank you. You're very nice. I tweeted you a couple months ago to see if we could set this up, and I met you in April, and we just couldn't do it. So I'm very grateful that we could set up here.
My pleasure.
So,
Thanks for wanting to do it.
Yeah. I usually have a co-host, Alan Lee. You should be thankful his car broke down, because he's not friendly territory.
Oh, he's not friendly territory.
That's why his car broke down.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad he's not here. I've got him in the other folder.
But I just wanted to start into it, because I'm a comic, and I just want to see if this happened to you, early in your career when you were, featuring and became a headliner. Did a headliner ever come up to you and said, "Don't do well"? And then.
No.
No?
No, I've never had anybody be that specific. I've had headliners stress that I'm supposed to work clean.
Yeah.
I always worked pretty clean anyway.
Yeah.
When I first started, I wasn't always completely clean, but, I could work 100% clean if asked.
Yeah.
So I've had that, but I've never had anybody say don't do well.
Yeah.
It seems a little rough.
Yeah, because,
have people said that that's happened to them?
That happened to me the other day at a show, and it was just really bothering me because I asked the guy who booked it. I was like, "Look, I think my comedy, I'm not saying I'm a headliner, but I think my comedy would be better if I closed the show over this guy,
Right.
So I destroyed it. I did 25 minutes of awesomeness, and then
Wow.
and then the headliner just.
It's impressive.
Yeah, and then the headliner just bombed hard, and then after the show, he's like, they told me that they were gonna tell you not to do well, so I could do well. I was just like, that's kind of disrespectful to comedy in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I was just like, so I was just wondering if that ever happened to you.
No, I've had the opposite. You also don't want to be pressured to do well.
Yeah.
Because that's also pressure.
Yeah.
I had a booker pick me up one time. I was living in New York City, and he was a guy that, would go to these bars and set up these comedy nights. And so we're driving there, and he said, hey, this room we're doing tonight, it's brand new for me. So the guy was on the fence whether he wanted to do it. So it's kind of an important night. And I'm like, yeah, okay. He goes, so I need you to kill. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just hit my kill button. Yeah, if you need me to kill one, then I'll absolutely kill. I mean, it's that easy to I'll just set it on kill.
Especially if it's like the first night, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, is that what you need out of me? I felt like saying, I need you to be a good booker and pay me triple what you normally would. I need you to be, you do that.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I was like, you know, it's not because like I wanted money. I just felt for the show overall it would have been better because, you know, I knew my humor and this guy's humor and it wouldn't mish. You know what I mean? So I was just like, yeah, because
I've been in a situation where it was me and one other guy, and I was kind of new to being able to close, and the other guy, they had me closing.
Yeah.
And the other guy in front of me was doing quite well. I mean, he was one of these guys that could blow the doors out, and my stuff, it's always a little quirkier.
Yeah.
You know, you either get it or you don't.
Yeah.
And so I had a rough, it was like 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, and after the Friday shows, somebody took me aside and said, I think the management's going to ask you guys to flip for Saturday. And I just felt so uncomfortable about that, you know, like, because I didn't book it, somebody else booked it.
Right.
I'm like, well, does the booker have a say in this? You know, they booked me as the headliner.
Yeah.
But it never got that harsh. They never asked me to switch.
Yeah.
They said, let's just let this guy bomb both shows Saturday as well. So everybody was happy. Everybody was happy except the audience.
Now you're like you're known for being one of the cleanest comics ever. And like when I told my dad I was going to interview, he was like, "Hey, I'll give you $200 if you get him to curse." And I was like, "Just 200?
How about you and I split it?"
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, right.
I could have him Venmoing it right now. But is that like something that people try and do to you when they interview? Like try to say, let's see if we can get Brian to curse?
Well, first let's get the money in your pocket. So
no, I'm not gonna make it.
No. Here we go. I hope you're listening, Keith's dad. Dad, burn it. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, but like.
Now you got some coin. Now you got some coin tonight.
But no, that's just me. Just so like, I don't know. I just figured like other people who've interviewed you have tried to do that to you.
I've joked around in a podcast here or there about being, you know, clean, and I've gotten dirty or filthy in a podcast just in a playful way.
Yeah.
You know, people going, "Hey, can you imagine if you cursed?" and stuff like that. And I don't know. Like, it was fun at the moment, but sometimes I wonder maybe I shouldn't have gone there.
Like,
you know, I feel like I'm cheating.
Like, you're like, oh, I hope no one listens to that.
Yeah. Right, exactly. You don't want to say that to the podcast. I hope no one listens to your podcast.
Yeah, people have said that to me. I'm like, but like,
please tell me you have very few followers. Please.
No, but like it's really hard for me like to do phone interviews. So like I'm very thankful this wasn't a phone interview because I have Asperger's syndrome. So like it's really hard for me to read energy over a phone, you know.
Well, it's interesting you say that. I also don't like phone interviews. I don't hear well.
Yeah.
And you're correct. You can't size people up sometimes. Like if I'm doing a phone interview, especially if it's a radio phoner,
yeah,
I will try to at least pull up images of the DJs so I can get an idea visually of who I'm looking at.
Yeah.
But tone gets missed sometimes, even in a phone interview.
Yeah.
Tone and I don't know. The closer, the more face to face, the better. So
yeah.
I agree.
So like I was like, yeah, thank God, you know, because I interviewed Larry Miller on the phone, and he's like one of my favorite comics, and I feel like he just hates me.
Oh,
I called him Larry Johnson by accident.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Compared him to the guy who made 4 points against the Pacers.
I've been called Larry Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of look like the light Larry Johnson.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm just going to take everything as a compliment.
Yeah. I love compliments. We're in the Jamie Foxx room. I mean, that's when the lady put me here. She's like, we're going to put you in the Jamie Foxx room. And then I was like, what about BBK? And
Right. Oh, the poster's on the wall in here.
yeah.
Jamie Foxx looks pretty damn cool in that poster.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine having the gumption to think I could pull that off.
Have you ever worked with Jamie Foxx when he was doing stand-up?
No. He's very good.
Yeah.
I'd love to show up at a photo shoot with like that jacket over a hanger, you know, and that ascot in the jacket pocket, and say, I'm going to be looking good after these pictures.
And then tell everyone your name's Larry Johnson.
Yeah. And the photographer goes, "You got it, Larry Johnson."
Now, when you filmed your live special on Comedy Central, what was that like? Because it was recorded live. Was that a temptation? Like, because it wasn't like where you filmed it and then it got aired. You filmed it live.
Correct.
Yes.
It was, I wanted to do it. I had done specials before.
Yeah.
I had done 2 Comedy Central specials before that. And I just wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something challenging. I thought live would be challenging. It was pretty intense. I don't think I've ever concentrated for an hour straight that much or harder in my life, if that sentence makes any sense. I'm glad I did it, but I don't think I would ever do it again.
Oh, really?
I mean, you feel like you're a pilot and like none of the controls are working properly, and you're trying to keep this thing. Not that anything was going wrong, but you're just on red alert.
Yeah.
You're on red alert because you know it's live, you know you don't have another show that you can edit from, and so you're trying to hit every word, every moment, every beat. And there were a couple of places where I messed up, but I was able to fix it in the moment.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I'm glad I did it, but it was quite exhausting, and that'll be my last live special in this lifetime.
Now, when you do theaters, do you ever usually add a 10 o'clock show? Like most comedy clubs, they do 8 and 10, and then they do like 3 days. But you just do one show in a theater and then move to the next theater? Or do you like?
Well, it depends. Usually I do one show, and that's it.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's 2, but sometimes like people, you know, say to me, "Brian, there aren't nearly enough people in this town to warrant 2 shows, so we're going to do 1, and that one will be half full."
What? Well,
the things people say to me, people are very hurtful when they say things like that.
yeah.
And that half won't even like you. I'm like, who is this?
Is this Larry Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
But no, when you do meet and greets after shows, like, I mean, I don't think this happens to you because you're an amazing performer, an amazing comic. But do people ever?
Well, thank you.
Yeah. But do people ever say like mean things to you? Because when I perform, some people, because I talk about autism for my entire comedy, you know, what it's like having autism and stuff. And some people who don't know what autism is, they just say mean things, and it's like very, you know, I got into comedy to make people laugh, and when I'm hearing these mean things, it's like, questions my judgment of comedy. You know what I mean? Does that ever happen with you, with your humor?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry to hear that people would say negative things
I didn't mean it like
to you.
that.
That's not cool. Face to face, most people are nice.
Yeah.
You know, when people can have some anonymity, you know, like on social media and stuff like that, you can get some bad comments. You know, I always get a kick out of like when you're in your car, you know, people will honk meanly when they're protected by a big hunk of metal.
Yeah.
You know, can drive away from a problem at 60 miles an hour. Yeah, okay, I get it. You're angry, you know.
Yeah.
But that same guy, if he was standing right next to you at a party, wouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
He would like, "Hey man, it's great to meet you." Go, "Wait, you're the same guy that honked at me in traffic." So I think face to face is better. Most people are pretty nice. I'm trying to think if anybody was ever outright. Oh, I did have a guy come up to me after a show one time. It was a comedy club, and a guy came to me. He was kind of drunk, and he said, whatever the cover charge was, let's say $12. He goes, I want my $12 back. So I thought he was joking, you know, like that's, and I went, haha, that's funny. He goes, no, I'm serious. No laughs. Bad show. I want my $12 back. And then there was a security guard that worked near the front door who came over and just stood between me and that guy. The guy was an off-duty cop. Not the guy who was saying the things, but the security guard. He just got between me and that guy and just kind of walked that guy to the door and out to the parking lot. I never felt so protected in my life.
Oh.
I was like, man.
It would have been funny if you said, hey, cop, come here. I'd give him the $12.
Yeah, the cop comes over and he negotiates. How about 10? Yeah.
It's like
10, then when you walk away, if he gives you 10. Even the cop's going, yeah, I'm with you. It's not a $12 show, but how about 8 to 10, and then we call it even? We call it a wash?
Now, your brother is also a comic. What was it like doing comedy with him? And like, were you guys competing and stuff, or did you guys help each other out? Because I don't have any brothers and sisters that do comedy.
No, we never competed with each other. You know, it's a big world.
Yeah.
You know, me performing somewhere in California and him performing somewhere in Pennsylvania on the same night, you know, we're not calling each other going, damn you! My ticket sales are sluggish because you're on the other side of the country. You know, there's plenty of room out there for two comedians to do okay.
Yeah.
We find each other funny. We work together occasionally. We don't like to do it too often because he's a headliner himself, and we don't want that to be like that's the package always. You know, we just like it to be every once in a while we'll do a show together.
Yeah. So were you upset that the booker wanted to flip you guys?
Right. It'll still say Regan headliner on the billboard, but we'll just have to swap the first name. Yeah.
But you said that you don't like writing jokes on paper, so do you write jokes in your mind when you're on stage sometimes?
Well, I'm not like well, no. I'm not creating a brand new joke while I'm on stage, but sometimes I'll be doing a relatively new bit, and I don't know exactly how I want to say it or how the words are going to come out, and so sometimes in the heat of the moment you'll say something a certain way and go, hey, that worked, and I tape every show, so I'll go find the audio of that joke and go, okay, that's a good way to get it out.
Do you when you tape every show, do you like find it difficult watching yourself?
I audio tape them. I don't video them.
Oh yeah, audio tapes.
And I don't force myself to listen to them. I used 2 years ago. I used to think that was part of the craft, and that I would have to listen to every show, and I started hating myself.
Yeah.
So now I just do it as a safety net. I don't force myself to listen to them unless I know I did something particularly new or particularly different. Then I'll just go find that moment.
Yeah, that's how I am. But I don't tape or audio record myself because I live in the moment of energy. And plus, how like I write, like everyone has two sides of the brain, a right and a left. And if you imagine like there's a little guy on each side typing, you know,
right,
everything comes out smooth. But when you have Asperger's, you know, you still have those two guys, but one guy's over typing and the other guy's eating Cheetos. So, you know, so everything I say.
Two competing interests.
Yeah. So everything I say, you know, it's either really smart or the Cheeto guy is just not editing.
Wow. That's intriguing.
Yeah.
I feel like I got two guys eating Cheetos.
One's eating cheesy puffs and the other's eating flaming hot.
So they are different. You know.
But at least it's a Cheeto party.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do comedy, what is your favorite part of doing it?
The honesty of the reaction. People can fake a lot of things. Just like I was saying earlier, that people will honk at you when they're in their car, but when they're face to face, they'll go, "Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you." People can fake react things, even socially, even face to face. People can, put on a facade that they're being pleasant or that they like you or something like that. But very rarely do people fake laugh.
Yeah.
Especially you have a room full of people going, that's real, and it's tangible, and you feel like you're making a human connection. And I like to be liked. Most people like to be liked. It's hard to trust things other than a laugh, but a laugh I can trust as me making a connection.
Do you know who Pete Holmes is?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you've ever heard his laugh, but I would not want to perform when he's in the audience.
He's got kind of an interesting
hyena laugh.
Yeah. But that's good.
Yeah.
It's good to, have a joyful. A laugh is a weird thing, man. There's a psychological component, there's a physical component. It feels very good, but also it can hurt.
Yeah.
When somebody goes, hey, stop. It's a weird thing to want to do. It's weird for somebody to go, I want my body to be convulsing in a way where it's hard for me to catch my breath. Why would somebody seek that out? But yet there's this pleasurable component to it.
Have you? I don't know if this is too dark to ask, but me
Have I ever killed someone?
Yeah, with laughing.
I've killed some people.
Yeah.
I've killed some people. You said you don't have a lot of followers, right? Because I don't want this. I don't want this to get out there in too big a way, because this murder thing is kind of frowned on. You know what I mean, in society. So, if you got a handful of people that listen, that's fine. But I don't want this ending up with the police. The FBI. They'll make a bigger deal out of it than it is.
Yeah.
But I probably murdered 6 or 7 people.
See, that's what I want to do. I don't know why, but I don't know. I just feel like maybe my humor, I'd be like, oh well, it sucks for them, but I accomplished it. I killed someone with my humor. That's good.
Oh. Well,
maybe not so much, but for them and their family.
I never did that. I never had a joke so good that happened.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a comic out, because you see, who's the comic who was performing on stage and he died, and everyone thought that was just part of the act. And
well, there's I was gonna say a famous guy, and now I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
Not in the United States. Well, actually,
there was. He was a big guy. His name's two.
Dick Shawn.
Dick Shawn, that's who I was thinking.
And then there was a Tommy something, a famous comedian in England.
That's who I'm thinking of. And there's a video of that one.
Yes.
He was on stage, and he was kind of the Tommy guy. This is Gary Brightwell.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Helping out.
No, I'm like the typical listener yelling, I'm screaming, it's Dick Shawn! It's Dick Shawn! Deep people, you listen to a podcast, I'm sorry.
No, it's awesome.
Gary Brightwell is working with me this week. He's hanging out. Thank you for the comedy information.
Yeah.
So Dick Shawn.
He was the one I was thinking of.
Okay. And then the other guy, like I said, he was on stage, and he was like a silly kind of comedian, and collapsed. Tommy Cooper.
I think.
He collapsed on stage, and oddly, maybe not so odd, everybody laughed because they thought he was just doing some silly goof.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, I think that's how much I love comedy. That's how I want to die. I don't know why, but if I'm strong enough to kill the audience, I think I should be strong enough to die on stage. I don't know. That's weird, right?
No.
Yeah.
You gotta have your goals in life.
But no, I just figured maybe it's fair if I'm so funny enough I could kill people with my humor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm fun enough to kill myself.
It's quid pro quo.
Yeah, it's a Cheeto. That was a Cheeto guy
Quid pro
talking.
quo thing going on there. There's a lot of death involved in these comedy fantasies.
Oh, that's the alarm, which means...
What's that?
Oh, no, I put the alarm because I wanted to respect your time, because I know you got a show.
Well, this one says 23, so we have more time, right?
Yeah. It was
let's continue.
It was a 5-minute warning. The one question that I ask everyone is, Who's an actor, dead or alive, that you think can do stand-up and that you'd want to see do stand-up?
Wow. Well, I'm not really answering the question directly. I've found that there are some actors. I'm not answering the question. I'm answering the question that I want to answer.
No, answer that.
Because I can't think of anybody specifically who I saw as an actor who I was like, wow, I would like to see this guy do stand-up comedy. But I have seen very good actors try to do comedy, and they can't quite turn the corner.
Right.
I'm not going to say any names. And you go, man, this really isn't working. Like, it isn't flying. There's a thing about being funny, like some people have it or they don't. And you can be a brilliant actor, yet not be able to turn that corner into being a funny, great actor. But there are exceptions to it, and Robert De Niro, to me, is an exception to that, because, when you see him in interviews and stuff like that, he doesn't seem like a very funny guy.
Yeah.
He's a pretty serious dude, yet when he does a comedic role, he is absolutely excellent.
Did you ever see The Comedian that he did? He did a movie called The Comedian like 2 years ago where he played a stand-up.
I did not.
Oh, yeah.
But I saw the one from like 10 or 15 years ago where he played Rupert Pupkin.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what was the name of that one?
King of comedy.
I get
Gary,
it.
I'm glad you're here. King of comedy.
Yeah.
If we don't know anything, we just look over
We
at
just
Gary
look at
and he
Gary.
answers. So anyway, I was thinking about the square root of 4,262. Gary? Gary?
I would say mine would be John Cusack.
Oh.
Like, I think, I don't know, I just think he'd be a great stand-up. You know what I mean? Because his roles are just so diverse.
Well, it'd be interesting to see anybody do stand-up,
Yeah.
like actor or not, just because you'd like to see what kind of act or material would they put together.
Yeah.
And whether it's funny or not is almost incidental to enjoying watching the attempt.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're funny, it's even better, but I think it would be interesting no matter the result.
Have you ever seen a not funny comic just bomb and like everyone, and then you just go up to him and be like, hey, you're really funny, just to like be polite? And then think, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
I'll usually be polite.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's any reason to rub someone's nose in
No, but
having
like
had a bad set.
Yeah, but like they say, oh, Brian Regan thinks I'm funny, and like you just said that to be nice,
That may have happened.
Did it happen with me?
Well, have I? Not with you. No, you were really funny.
That's what I'm
You were
talking
very
about.
funny.
Yeah.
It's all the other comedians. All the other comedians. I saw John Cusack perform.
Oh, yeah?
Not funny at all. But I told him it was great. I knew it wasn't, and he knew it wasn't either.
Then you said, by the way, can you sign my DVD of Must Love Dogs?
Yeah, you were there. Why are we even talking about this? You know the whole
I took
scenario.
you to the show.
Yeah.
Well, before we run out, I just wanted to say I opened for two people. I don't open for this person anymore, but one is Norm Macdonald.
Oh man.
And he loves you very much. And,
Likewise.
You're his favorite, and I just wanted to say that to him in case you didn't know that.
I not to feel like I'm complimenting myself. He has been gracious enough to say very nice things about me privately and publicly, and it means the world to me because I think he's absolutely terrific as a stand-up. He performed in Vegas recently. I went out and watched his show. I love the way his brain works. I love his comedy. I like his angle. I love how much he loves comedy, and for him to tip his hat my way is a huge honor.
Oh, awesome! I wish I would have knew you guys knew each other, so I couldn't I didn't know if you guys knew each other, so I just want to say my hero loves you very much. So and the other one is Jay Moore. He loves you very much too.
Oh man, that's nice, man.
And it's his birthday, and I was wondering if you could wish him a happy birthday on the podcast.
Yeah, but I'm not good at wishing happy birthdays. It's like a week, like I've never been good at it. I'll try.
Yeah.
Happy. See, I'm not good. Happy birthday. I don't know why. It's like something I've never been good at.
Yeah.
Happy to you, birthday to you, happiness. I hope that was close to what you were looking for.
Oh, that was awesome. That would make him happy.
All right, sure.
There.
It should.
Yeah.
It should make him happy.
Have you ever gone on Cameo? Do you know what Cameo is?
No.
Cameo is a website where like you sign up and then like people will pay you like whatever, how much you want just to do like a 30-minute message to them, and you send a video, and then do you know what Cameo is?
Yeah, I have it.
Gary knows what. Oh, are you on Cameo?
No.
Oh. So
Somebody would pay.
It's like you're famous,
You're
you know,
yeah.
and you say, okay, if you give me $40, for $40 I will personally make a video for you, like for your birthday, and it's like maybe like a minute or 30 seconds.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, it's Brian Regan. I just want to wish you, Bob Smith, a happy birthday. And then there's different levels of celebrity, and so like if you wanted, you know,
Share,
or
or
you know, she's like $300, and the
Right.
or whatever. There's levels. And
I'd hate to find out where this list is
and
and find out that I'm like down at $1.35 level. Or you can get Brian Regan for $1.35. You know, if you don't want to.
No, I think you set the price.
Yeah,
though.
you set the
So
price.
as
Oh.
other people looking will go, geez, he's lowballing himself. I'm not even.
I thought it was a supply and demand thing, like
No,
the market dictated
No,
what you.
like I
what
said,
you-
if you wanted, you know,
Listen, I don't.
like Bruce Jenner's less money than Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner charges like $2,000.
Yeah, it's a weird.
That's
How much for me to say happy birthday to Caitlyn Jenner?
oh.
Would she pay me?
I don't know.
I'm gonna charge her $2,001, 2001, to say happy birthday to her, and then I'll pay her $2,000 to say happy birthday to me. So we both get wished, you know, happy birthday, and I'm up $1.
Yeah. But what about Jay? What? I mean, Jay doesn't get anything.
I'm supposed to get the money. I just gave him a beautiful happy birthday
Yeah,
message.
yeah.
That should be worth something.
Well, I was gonna say that was your Cameo audition,
Oh, I see.
and if you pass. Well, Brian, is there any way where the folks should follow you on the social media? Just Brian Regan.
Brian Regan. Yeah, I'm so bad at promoting myself. Well, the normal stuff. BrianRegan.com.
Yeah.
Twitter, I think, is Brian Regan Comedian.
Comedian.
Or maybe it's Brian Regan Comic.
On Twitter,
I
you
should
post
know
a
that.
joke a day and you retweet it.
I do?
Yeah.
Well, I have, you know, they have national days out there.
Yeah, yeah.
National Wiggle Your Toes Day or whatever.
Yeah.
I've been, you know,
'Cause
commenting on those things
I
every
follow
day
you
just
and
for
they're
fun.
hilarious.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I
So,
appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, in fact, we were shooting some today and yesterday. I don't want to blow the illusion. I take that back. We shoot one every single day. It would be wrong to shoot those ahead of time. I wake up every morning and shoot a special one that day for that day.
And then we send it to Cameo.
Great.
Well, Brian, thank you so much for the interview, buddy.
Hey, you
Really
got it,
appreciate
man. Thank you.
And Gary, thanks for being
You're welcome.
the guy who knows the things I don't know.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.